against Hoffenheim, round 1. We've got the round 2 coming up on Sunday. So the first game kicks off 3 o'clock at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of a full house, I believe. And then the second game will be at Hotspur Way behind closed doors. This is your predicted lineup, people. So, what are we thinking? What are we thinking, people, for the predicted lineup? We're going for a 4-2-3-1 formation, as per usual. It's very interesting because we were looking at the training video just before and we used the bib theory that we used on a previous predicted lineup, which was absolutely spot on. We were trying to look at who's got the bib, who doesn't have the bib. It looked like the guys without the bib are going to be starting tomorrow. They look like the stronger players. But in that, Mohamed Kudus and James Maddison both didn't have bibs on. So it's very interesting. Maybe there's a little inkling there, albeit the only players we really saw with bibs were centre mids and centre back. So we didn't really see who else did or didn't have bibs. So we can kind of predict pretty accurately, I think, who's going to play centre mid and centre back. But I think the other ones we're just going to have to use a bit of guesswork. So 4-2-3-1, Antonin Kinski in goal, our new number 1. He hasn't been given number 1 shirt yet, but hopefully he will do soon. Surely he's going to be given the number 1 shirt when Vicario leaves. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he might just stick with the 31, and then once he's established himself, he'll get the number 1. It might happen. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the numbers come out. So Antonin Kinski in goal. Right back, we are going back to Archie Gray. Pedro Porro is back in the building, but this game might come a bit too soon for him. Maybe a few minutes off the bench, or maybe he plays in the second game. But yeah, he's just come back yesterday. I think it's just a bit too soon for him. Yeah, I agree. Archie Gray's been an able deputy. Right now, he is our backup right back, as with Spence leaving. So he is going to have to fulfill that role until we sign someone, or he might just be the guy for the season. We'll have to wait and see how it moves forward. So I think he's done a good job there, and I think he's going to play again on Saturday. Right centre-back, we are going to Jan-Paul van Hecker. I think he's been brilliant in the pre-season games that we've seen him so far. That passing ability has really been on show, hasn't it? And fantastic. Good to have him here. Yeah, the only thing I'd say is defensively against Getafe, didn't cover himself in much glory with the goal, but hopefully that's a bit of a learning curve. But even in that game, I loved what I saw from him. He's a really good passer, and I think Zerbi knows exactly how to use him as well. He knows how to play under Zerbi, so I'm really looking forward to him getting his feet under the table in that position. And to partner him, Mickey van der Ven has not been in training. You know, even in that clip of Porro getting the lap of honour, he wasn't in his training gear. Everyone else was in the training gear, so wondering what's going on with Mickey van der Ven. But that brings a first start or a first appearance in Spurs colours to Marcos Senesi. And I'm starting to think now these two are going to start the season for us. Yeah, I get that feeling because Van der Ven is clearly struggling with something. We saw him kind of in the gym, and Xavi posted a video of him doing some sort of recovery. So clearly he's not 100% just yet. Obviously coming back from the World Cup, playing at left back and everything. So it might just be for a week or so, or maybe a couple, that Senesi starts. But that's why we bought him, because we have no worries putting him in. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be great to see him alongside Van Hecker at centre-back. That passing ability is going to be nuts. I'm actually so excited to see it. And the beauty of when you sign a player like Senesi, it means you don't have to rush Mickey back. You can just give him all the time he needs to be 100%. And then once he's back, then he's got competition for places. But that's why you sign quality depth. Left back, still no sight of Destiny Udogie. Haven't seen him in any of the training footage or anything like that. So yeah, Andy Robertson to get another start. Yeah, it's gonna. I think he's had a bit of a mixed pre-season. Still needs to get up to absolute speed, but there's been some good. But I think definitely defensively, you're starting to see some holes there. So hopefully against Hoffenheim, he locks it down a bit better. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the back four that we're going for. Archie Gray, Jan-Paul van Hecker, Marcus Senesi and Andy Robertson. In the midfield, right side of the double pivot will be Sandro Tonali. I think Tonali has been so good so far in pre-season. Really has that element of control, and I think he's so much better on the ball than anyone that we've had already. And still Mateus Fernandes to be added into that. So
I'm loving what I'm seeing from Sandro Tonali.
Yeah, I think it just adds that little bit of quality that we haven't seen ever since for a long time in central midfield. Just someone who's so comfortable on the ball, comfortable passing in between the lines. Look, he's not perfect yet. I think he's got levels to go from what we've seen, but he just adds that little bit of extra technical ability, and he's got incredible engine as well. I think he's been really exciting during pre-season.
And alongside him, I envisage it's going to be Lucas Bergvall.
If we go with the non-bib theory.
Yeah, Lucas Bergvall was not wearing a bib in the training. And also, I think he's done himself well with the way he's kind of conducted himself over pre-season. I think he's been really good whenever he's been on the pitch. So hopefully Zerbi sees him as a proper option. I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. And good option to have, Lucas Bergvall. And I think the dynamic between him and Tonali seems good already.
Do you think there's a chance? Obviously, right now he's been starting a lot of the other pre-season games, and potentially he starts tomorrow. If he does start tomorrow, obviously Fernandes has been fatigued or struggling with something, and he might play the behind closed doors game. But if Bergvall is starting tomorrow, is there a chance he starts game week 1? Do you think De Zerbi's trying to send him a message like, if you're playing and you're playing well, I know I've signed Fernandes, but I will give you opportunities. I'm not going to just put Fernandes in, just because I've signed him for 85 million. If I like what you're doing, you're going to play.
I think it depends. I think it highly depends on how Fernandes gets on in the second game. But I think he's playing him there because that's the next option available. Obviously, Bentancur, he could play Bentancur, I guess. He could play Pape Matar. He could play Conor Gallagher there. He could play, multiple players. So I guess, he is trying to put some trust in Lucas Bergvall, and obviously with the protracted transfer to Forest and Newcastle and all that kind of stuff. I think he is trying to say, look, you've got a future here. You will get minutes. But what I would say is if Fernandes comes out of that, the second game, or if he comes on this game, whatever, and he's looking good and he's fit enough to start Brentford, I do think he will start Brentford.
I think if Bergvall has a good game starting in this one, I think he starts against Brentford. I reckon it's like, I think he's really trying to convince him, like, you're not just going to be an extra shirt. You're going to be one of my options. And if you're playing well, I will play you. And there's a lot of talk about there's been a lot of close contact with De Zerbi and Bergvall over this pre-season. He's giving a lot of advice. And obviously there's a lot of talk about him trying to convince Bergvall to stay at Tottenham, although there's a lot of interest in him. And I think he's been starting him. And I think potentially could start him even game week 1 to try and send that message to Bergvall. Like, I know I've signed Fernandes, but if you're playing well, I'm not going to just drop you just because he's here.
Yeah, look, it's a big possibility. I'm not ruling out at all, but I just get the feeling if Fernandes is, up to speed, I think he will start. But look, we'll see in a week's time. We'll see in a week's time. In the 10 is an interesting one because Maddison was not wearing a bib. Conor Gallagher was not really pictured, but he was there. So could James Maddison start this game?
I would love to see it. I don't think he will because I don't think he's going to start game week 1. I think he's going to play a team most closely because it's a week away from the season. So I think he's going to play the team most closely to what he's going to start against Brentford. That's what I think is probably in his mind.
This team with Porro, basically.
Essentially. So I think Gallagher's going to start that game because he's been playing most of pre-season. I obviously Maddison hasn't played. So I think Maddison, if he does start any game, he's probably going to start the second game behind closed doors so they can manage him a bit better in a more controlled environment. So he might be on the bench for this one, which I hope, and I hope he comes on and has some game time. I would love to see it, and I would love to see him start if he's ready. But if I was to predict, I'm still going to go Gallagher because I think Gallagher starts game week 1.
Yes, that the bib thing just threw me off a little bit because I agreed with you. I thought Gallagher, when we first were talking about it, I thought, Gallagher surely is going to start this game. I think he started every single pre-season game so far, Conor Gallagher. Maybe one he missed out, I can't remember off the top of my head. But that no bib thing with James Maddison did throw me off a little bit. And I'm thinking, is there a slight chance that Maddison could actually start this game?
But we didn't see the bibs for anyone but the centre mids and centre backs. So I don't know if you can read too much into any other players having bibs or not. Because we didn't see any fullbacks, whether with a bib or not. And we didn't see any forward players or number 10s with a bib or not. It was literally just centre mids and centre backs.
We saw Robertson without a bib.
No, but again, that you can't read into that because we didn't see any other fullback with a bib. You know what I mean? So we don't know.
We don't have any other fullbacks.
Yeah, it's also true. But I'm just saying, like, they had a little training session, clearly working on build-up, and it was only centre-backs and centre-mids in that little training session. That's the only people we saw with bibs or not. So we can confidently predict that, but I think everyone else, we don't really know.
There also could be a case where they could announce James Maddison as captain tomorrow.
True. And then you probably want him in the team, don't you?
Leading the team out. So I think Gallagher probably is the safer bet to put in the 10. He probably will start, but there is a part of me that thinks James Maddison might actually start this game. But let's go for Gallagher.
I think it's Gallagher. I'm pretty certain. I would love it, but I would love to be wrong. I would love to be surprised and Maddison leads the team out. That would be amazing. But I think he wants the team to be up to speed as much as possible for Brentford. And that means Gallagher should probably start.
Right-hand side of the attack, Mohamed Kudus also wasn't wearing a bib.
He also wasn't wearing a bib. True.
Could Mohamed Kudus start? If it's not Mohamed Kudus, it's most likely going to be Mikey Moore.
Yeah, we don't really have any other options. And to be fair, he is still here. And why is he here? He's probably here to play these games.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we're not 100% sure about the winger situation. We're trying to get players through the door. So I think for now, Moore plays. Maybe Kudus either on the bench or starts the second game. But I think Moore is here because he's kind of covering right now, and he could even be in line to start game week 1 if things go not the way we want. So it'll be interesting. So I think Moore starts. I think if we get Savinho and or Gakpo next week, he probably goes on loan. If we haven't got either of them in time for Brentford, and if Kudus isn't ready, there's a chance he starts.
Yeah, there is.
I think that's why he'll probably start this game, just in case
we
of
need
that
to get
eventuality.
this business done before the first game at Brentford. And even if you do get the business done, let's say Savinho comes in this weekend or whatever, not very long on the training pitch, is there?
No, it's true. But I think even Savinho playing catch up is probably going to be more effective than Moore, unfortunately for Mikey.
It is. It's like saying, like, sometimes you bring in players in the January transfer window or late in the transfer window, and they get put straight into the team.
Look at Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey van der Ven was signed, and the next day he was starting.
Yeah,
and he was unbelievable. So I think with Savinho as well, the positive thing about Savinho is that he's been going through pre-season all summer. He's been playing games. You know what I mean? It's not coming in out of the cold and hasn't had a pre-season.
Good point.
So,
good point.
He'll be up to speed in terms of his fitness, but maybe just not tactically 100% just yet. So Mikey Moore on the right. On the left-hand side, I think that's a pretty easy one. Matisse Tell had a really strong pre-season so far, so let's hope he can carry this on in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and I think this is it's kind of a big game for him. Obviously, I think he probably starts Brentford anyway, but with 2 potentially new attackers coming through the door to upgrade the attack, he's got to show that he could be as good as those players, and he's still an attacking option. He's not just here to make up the numbers. He's not here to sit on the bench. Obviously, we're signing Gakpo and Savinho to start, no doubt about it, and Tel knows that. But this is also a massive season for him and his Spurs future. And I think this is quite an important game just to show Zerbi, as much as you're getting these guys, I'm also here. I'm still an option. I can be just as good as those players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's been doing that so far. You've really seen he's playing with a point to prove, in my opinion. You can really see that kind of fire in his eyes right now. So it's great to see. But that is the 3 behind the striker that we're going to go for in Mikey Moore, Conor Gallagher and Matisse Tell. I mean, not the strongest kind of 3 that you want to see in the week before the curtain raiser of the Premier League. But here we are. And then up front, I think is also a pretty simple one because Dominic Solanke has not been pictured in training at all. Richarlison was there, so it's got to be Richarlison.
Yeah, that's our prediction. As you say, there's rumours that Solanke's returned to training, but the video I don't think we saw him.
But even with the players walking in, you saw Richarlison there, but you didn't see Solanke.
Yeah, he was there when he was welcoming Porro. You saw him
in training kit as well.
In a training kit, so he might have been doing gym work. Maybe he was out there and just wasn't on the video. But I think right now, Richarlison started the last friendly. We don't know if he's 100% ready to play Solanke, so we're going to go Richarlison again.
Yeah. So this is the lineup we anticipate will face Hoffenheim on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Anthony Kinski in goal, Archie Gray at right back, Andy Robertson at left back, a back 2 of Jan-Paul van Hecke and Marcos Senesi, Sandro Tonali and Lucas Bergwijn on the double pivot, Conor Gallagher in the 10, Mikey Moore on the right, Matisse Tell on the left, and Richarlison up top. hoping for a big performance in front of a packed Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hopefully the vibes will be absolutely immaculate. What is the prediction? What score prediction are you going for?
Have we scored more than a goal in any friendly?
We scored 2 against Chelsea.
We did score 2 against Chelsea. Fair play. Just about. So let's go. I'm going to go clean sheet 2-0.
2-0. I think it's going to be a 1-0 job. I just can't see many goals in this tide. I really can't. You know, Mikey Moore hasn't been so great so far in pre-season. Maybe he's fitter now and he'll look a bit better. Richarlison, you know, you can always say he can pop up with one, and hopefully Matty's Tell will be the one to provide it for him. But I think, you know, maybe we'll get one with Gallagher pressing. So, yeah, you know what? I'll agree with you. 2-0 Spurs. 2-0 Spurs. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section below. Let us know what you think the lineup is going to be. What lineup is Roberto De Zerbi going to pick for the penultimate pre-season game before the Premier League starts? A couple of super chats, I think, came in as well.
Plettenberg's just on an update on Gakpo.
What's he said?
Tottenham are in very concrete talks with Gakpo and have already made contact with Liverpool. However, a source close to the player currently denies that any agreement has been reached. A move to Spurs is nevertheless a serious option for Gakpo.
Okay.
So no agreement just yet. He's coming for sure.